We're standing next to a very distant relative of mine that came out into this wild, wild world on a motorbike, who'd like to do exploring, and unfortunately he perished here. And the good people of the station out here have brought us out today to see the gravesite, which is very emotional.
When did you first hear about Ellis?
I first heard about it about 15, 16 years ago through a magazine article that was written in a car magazine, and my brother got hold of the paperwork out of it and photocopied it and sent it to me, and since that day it's been a dream to come out and actually see where it is and what it actually looked like. Yeah, so it's fantastic.
How similar is it to some of the photographs that you'd seen?
It's exact. It's just like that photo that we've got, which is from 1988. It's as if it's just the same. It just looks exactly, yeah.
It's a rock and stone tombstone, isn't it?
Yes,
and,
it is, yeah.
Surrounded by sort of very old timber marking out the rectangle of the grave. It looks down the hill towards Mount Connor. Just beyond that is Uluru. Do you know if that's where he was headed?
The story is that's where he was going, but no one really knows because he didn't leave a diary on actually where he was heading. But the stories I've heard, when he left the last station to come here, he said he was going to Ayers Rock, and apparently he left when it was extremely hot, and the cook that prepared his bag of food for him, she said to him, "Don't go, it's too hot and you won't come back." And he ignored her and just jumped on his bike and off he went, and he didn't come back.
What kind of person was Ellis from some of the stories you've heard?
Well, I don't know very much about him at all. Unfortunately, it wasn't spoken about much in the family. It's only now that we've actually got here that we're starting to hear some stories. But he was a school teacher, apparently much of an adventurer, well before 1935, and he did a lot of apparently exploring in Canada. And he'd come back to Australia and teach for a while, raise enough money and funds to fund his own explorations, and then he could take off. And he was actually engaged to a primary school teacher that actually taught me, and she was a very old teacher, of course, but he was actually engaged to her, that I found out about.
How much of a journey has it been for you to get here today?
We left Melbourne about 8 weeks ago. This has been in the pipeline for the last couple of years. This was really the main adventure to come to find it and actually see it. And now that's all come together, and it's just absolutely brilliant.
How long have you been in touch with the station folk from Curtin Springs?
At least 2 years to 2 and a bit years. And they said by all means to come up and come out and view it, but we would have to come with them because they could no longer let people out here on their own, which I was more than happy about. I would rather be brought out here by people who know the area than venture out into here. I don't want to end up where he is.
What's it like for you standing here today after so many years?
It's very emotional to actually have something still here, recognisable, that has got his name on it. I can actually see my name up there, which is wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful.